I've been watching a lot of Left 4 Dead 2 challenge content for the past 2 weeks now, and I started asking myself, could I actually pull off a challenge myself? And of course, being the genius billionaire playboy that I am, I came up with the brilliant idea to only move backwards through the Dead Center campaign. That's right, the only key I can press in this whole run is S. No running, no fancy bunny hopping, just me moonwalking my way through hordes of zombies. And because I clearly love making things worse for myself, I decided to do this solo. Because honestly, what's more entertaining than watching someone fail on the edge of completion? Now, if you're not aware, Left 4 Dead 2 is a game meant to be played with 4 survivors working together against endless hordes of zombies and mutated zombies known as Special Infected. Some of these infected, by the way, are game-ending nightmares for solo players. So, when you put all of this together, it creates a challenge of pure agony and regret. Anywho, let's begin with the rules. Number 1, no movement that isn't moving backward is allowed. Number 2, looking around when standing still is allowed. This allows me to clear my path when making my way through the chapters. Number 3, I play on easy difficulty because I'm a casual and I'm just trying to have fun. And finally, number 4, I play on a modded mutation known as solo play. This allows me 1 revive per chapter, causes special infected spawn rate to be slightly decreased, and causes common infected spawning to be slightly reduced. Now that we know the rules, let's begin the challenge. So starting off, I already failed the challenge by moving forward, but forgetting that even happened, I start dual wielding the M1911s and make my way down the stairs to clear out the first hallway of zombies. I make my way into the storage closet where I meet my first Boomer, who's played by Peter Griffin, and my first Charger, who is played by Donkey Kong. Unfortunately, Donkey Kong fists me into the ground and uses up my revive for the chapter. After passing the rest of the zombies on that floor, I make my way down to the next floor where the elevator to escape the building resides. However, a hunter stops me, proving that he's the dominant man in the bedroom for that round. Similar to the first round, I clear out the top floor and make my way to the elevator, this time not being dominated by a freaky hunter. Now this is where the challenge gets interesting. In Left 4 Dead, when you complete a main objective for each chapter, it usually spawns a horde or an endless wave of zombies hurtling towards the player. These events are known as crescendo events. Of course, when you have teammates, it's relatively easy, but going solo is when it becomes difficult. Now I'm not saying this section is at all challenging, but future events in this campaign may actually pose some sort of problem. With all of that considered, I created a game plan of throwing a pipe bomb, killing some of the stragglers, and hauling ass to the nearby safe room. However, I got lost for a minute in the lobby area until I finally found the doorway to safety. I then moonwalked as fast as I could to the safe room while praying that the Jackson 5 of Special Infected wouldn't give me some diabolical backshots. Thankfully, they didn't, and I was able to complete the first chapter of Dead Center. Jumping back into it, I healed myself up to the max health and was off to the mall. On the way, I ran into a Boomer who was yelling Peter quotes and a hunter who was eating my ammo. I also ran into a jockey who thought it would be funny to assault the one-man cheeseburger apocalypse, which I did not find funny because his bitch ass stole my revive. After getting humped by the jockey, I made my way to the container that was blocking the way to the mall. Now, unfortunately, when I tried making my way up the ladder backwards, it did not work. Although I was not happy with it, I was forced to press the W key to get over the container. It was such a tragic moment in the run. Pushing that to the side, I continued my journey to the mall. I was met with some new weaponry, so I decided to switch to a rifle so that I could partake in some long-range combat when clearing my path. This is when another challenge emerged. There was a witch blocking my path, and since it's a very narrow bridge she was blocking, I had to wait for her to move out of the way. If I didn't, she would have gone crazy psycho bitch on me and scratched me to hell. So as I waited for her to move out of the way, a Charger decided it would be the best time to get freaky with his self-pleasure time hand, ultimately ending that run. Once again, I was back in the safe room healing, and then I was able to make my way back to where the witch was previously located. This time though, she decided to roam at the entrance to the gun store. How lovely. Thankfully, I was able to make it past her grabbed an M16, and started to heal myself when, out of nowhere, a spitter and a smoker wanted to manhandle me. I did not allow such actions to take place, so when I made my way out of the gun store, a hunter tried to avenge them, and, of course, he succeeded. With his sacrifice, he left me with no revive right before entering the event of the chapter. This event was a special one too, because I am meant to go get some cola for the gun store owner, and it usually spawns an endless wave of zombies. So heading into it, I was quite nervous, because if I messed up, I'd be sent all the way back to the safe room again. Fortunately, I think due to the solo play mutation, barely any zombies spawned during the event. So, I made my way to the gun store owner and delivered the cola he was asking for. He then cleared the way to the mall, and I was able to make it to the third chapter. For the third time, I healed up and was on my way to the final chapter of this challenge. Now, this wouldn't be a challenge though if I wasn't being dicked down constantly by the infected. Nonetheless, I made my way up an escalator and found myself with Peter and a spitter, killing Peter and leaving the spitter alive to try to limit the amount of round-ending special infected from spawning. Moving forward, I ran into a close encounter with a jockey, and then I made my way down some more escalators where a smoker made his presence known with his lung cancer and negative smelly aura. More zombies decided to slap the shit out of me, which ended in their demise, but then Peter decided it was the perfect opportunity to avenge the dead, but due to his weight, he was too slow in climbing through the doorway and ended in him exploding. Making my way through the back rooms of the chapter, I finally killed a spitter since it was in my way and actively trying to attack me. In the next room over, a witch thought it would be cool to roam half naked in a kid's store. Pedophile. But trying to teach her a lesson would most certainly end up leaving me dead. So I just let her be while I went on my way through the crescendo event. I almost lost my revive to a smoker, made my way to the alarm system, and shut it down. I also found a cool Lambda logo. I healed up, made my way deeper into the back rooms, when out of thin air, some scary ass music starts playing. That's right, my first tank. What's so funny about this is that you can clearly see how terrified I was by my movement. I couldn't make my way through the door or up the stairs as my screen shake was getting slightly more aggressive. Fortunately, I made my way into an open area and was actually able to take down the tank. I made my way back to where the tank started chasing me down, but at the end of the hall, a hunter was waiting for me, just itching to take my revive. At this point, I was so close to the end and knew that a single mistake would possibly make me restart the chapter. So I took it slow, waiting for an opening. Once I got it, I made my way up the escalators, killed a jockey, and completed the third chapter. And now I've finally made it to the finale. This finale is all about speed. I have to gather 8 gas cans while zombies and special infected are constantly pouring in, trying to hit it from behind. The tricky part? The gas cans are scattered across multiple floors of the mall. Doing it solo is not fun because I can get jerked around by a charger or barfed on by a boomer or any of those types of things. And trying to defend myself could cause it all to go up in flames. Literally. All while I'm dealing with that, a tank or two can also spawn in. It's absolutely amazing. But once the car is finally filled up, the finale's over and ends with the car crashing through the mall's glass doors, and it's off to the next map. That's not how it went for me. Oh no, it was quite the opposite. The zombies would not give me a break. Every time I turned around to move, there would always be some just pounding on me. It was the most annoying thing ever. For most of my attempts, I barely made any progress due to how limited my movement was. It was just me constantly spawning, healing, and then dying. It was so frustrating that I had to try to finish it the next day, but it was to no avail. My closest run had all the gas cans on the main floor. I just had to take them to the car and fill up the gas tank, but there were just too many zombies to defend myself from. So the question is, can you beat Dead Center by only moving backwards? Technically, no. I'm saying that only because of the ladder in the second chapter, but I'm sure there is another way around it. But if you don't count that, I'd say, yeah, you can. However, it's very difficult. Me being able to get all the gas cans on the main floor proves that it is actually possible. You just have to be very patient with the spawns of special infected, because if you're not, you're just going to end up how I ended up, not beating it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to me. I just want to continue to make content like this because it's actually very fun. And while you're subscribing, please hit that bell icon as well so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.